Hey guys, how's it going? Hope you're having a great day. Good productive day here. So that's always good. Got a lot of stuff done. Um, Energy's pretty good. Didn't have to nap or anything today, so that's good. Got a little extra sleep last night, so getting that extra sleep is really good for me. I just need to keep it up because I'm bad at it. So I wanted to talk today a little bit about estrogen dominance, and maybe you've heard of it, maybe you haven't. It's something that happens to both men and women. Basically, it's when the body has too much estrogen and not enough progesterone to counteract it. So, as I said, this isn't just a woman's issue, it's a men's issue as well. So in order for our bodies to operate properly, our hormones really do need to be in balance. So when our hormones are out of balance, our body is just out of whack. So we'll notice things that a lot of us might think, oh, well, this is normal, it's just a part of life or whatever, and chances are it's not. It's actually an issue that you actually do have some control over. So that's the good news. Hey, Helen, how's it going? So some of the causes, so what causes estrogen dominance? Well, one is carrying excess weight. So both in men and women, being overweight creates and stores more estrogen. So carrying excess weight that's unhealthy, that can be a cause right there of estrogen dominance. Exposure to environmental xenoestrogens. So these can be found in like plastic water bottles, plastic containers that you might store your food in body moisturizers and shampoos. You got to read those labels, and also in the meat of animals that have been given growth hormones and antibiotics. So it's really kind of tough to protect yourself from that. Like, that's a lot of stuff that a lot of us are exposed to on a fairly regular basis. So now that you know about that, now you can be a little more choosy, a little more picky about the things that you put in and on your body. Of course, birth control pills and hormone replacement therapy, they contain synthetic estrogen, so that can cause an issue. Chronic stress, that causes problems with your adrenals and your thyroid glands. Poor diet, so if you're eating a lot of processed food, stuff that's high in sugar, that can be an issue. Also, drinking too much alcohol, taking in too much caffeine, and smoking can be a big problem. Hey, Alyssa, how's it going? Also, digestion issues. So this can impact the estrogen detoxification process in the liver if you're having digestive issues. And I think a lot of us do have digestive issues, and we're not aware that that's not normal. So if you are suffering from that, there's an imbalance somewhere, and that can actually be looked at and can actually be improved a lot through proper diet. So what are some symptoms of estrogen dominance? So, as I said, this can be found in both men and women. This list, a lot of it will be towards women. You'll know which ones. But men do suffer from some of these things as well. Hey, Mark. Hi, Lewis. So, an increase in the fat around the abdomen, sorry, abdomen around your belly and your thighs. So if you notice that you're carrying a lot of weight around your belly and your thighs, that could be a sign of estrogen dominance. Difficulty losing weight. So if you're eating well and you're exercising and you seem to be doing all the right things, you've talked to a trainer, you've talked to your nutritionist, and you seem to be on the right path, but you're still not losing excess weight. And I'm talking about unhealthy weight. I'm not talking about a little bit here and there that you might think is a problem, which really isn't. But if you're finding out you're still over a healthy weight, even though you're doing all the right things, it could be due to too much estrogen. An increase in PMS symptoms. So us women are quite familiar with that, and it can be really bad when the symptoms are bad. So it can be bad for everybody. So if you notice that, and the symptoms are quite big, then that's a good indication that there's something going on. Endometriosis, so another issue that some women do suffer from, and that's a pretty painful condition. Allergies, so if you're suffering from a lot of allergies, that could be where it's coming from. Decreased sex drive, so if you're finding that you're noticing a decrease in your sex drive, that would be something to look at for sure. Fatigue, so fatigue, that's kind of vague. I think everybody kind of feels fatigue every now and then, so if the only symptom you have is fatigue, it might not be estrogen dominance. Fibrocystic breasts, so again, an issue for women. Headaches, infertility, and irritability. So those are that's a pretty long list of possible things that might be telling you that you are suffering from estrogen dominance. Men will experience loss of sex drive, increased abdominal fat, and enlarged prostate, and even prostate cancer. So this is not something to just ignore. So if you're noticing symptoms, you need to look at your diet, look at your lifestyle, maybe go and see your doctor, get some tests done, and see what's happening. Always best to know what's happening than to not know. Hi, James. Hi, LaDonna. So how do you balance your estrogen levels? So one is diet. So, following a healthy nutrition plan. Try to stick to organics where you can, just because less exposure to pesticides and that kind of thing. My kind of rule for myself is if it has a peel that's edible, I want to go organic. If it's a peel that I'm just going to take off and throw away, I don't worry so much about organic because organic can be a little costly. So that's kind of my rule for myself. You want to have a diet that's high in fiber, 9 to 11 servings of fruits and vegetables per day. And try to go for a 3-to-1 ratio of vegetables to fruit. So for every 3 servings of vegetables that you have 1 serving of fruit. So make sure you don't mix that up, because if you're having that much fruit, it could be a little too much sugar. Even though it's healthy sugar, it can still have an effect on you that's not so healthy. Hi, Teresa. Hey, Paula. So another way to fight this is to improve your digestion by increasing the good bacteria in your gut, and you can do this with a probiotic supplement. You can use a shake like the shake that I use that has pre and probiotics in it. I use that every day. And eating fermented foods. So not everyone likes fermented foods, but that's a good option to help build up the good bacteria in your gut. Because I was just talking to somebody about this today, and if the bacteria, in our guts, we have good and bad. If you've been using antibiotics or have been exposed to antibiotics through meat that's been raised with antibiotics, what's going to happen is they are going to kill off all the bacteria. They don't decide we're just going to kill the bad ones and not the good ones. They kill everything. So if you have an imbalance and you have more bad bacteria than good bacteria, what happens is you're going to have inflammation in your gut, and you're not going to be absorbing the nutrients that you're eating. So you could be eating a super healthy diet, organic everything, really, really happy, grass-fed beef, the whole thing. But if you're not absorbing it, then you're losing all those nutrients. So what you think you're getting, you're not getting. So digestive health, your gut health, is where it's all going to start. So you need to make sure that that's in check. And if you are interested in learning more about that, message me. We can talk more about that, because that could be a pretty long conversation, and you guys don't want to hear me babble on. So another one is sleeping, getting enough sleep. So sleeping 7 to 9 hours each night. I'm bad at that. I'm working on it. I'm getting a little bit better at it. But try to do that. Reduce stress and support your adrenal and thyroid glands with proper rest and nutrition. So getting enough sleep and eating right is going to be good for your adrenal and thyroid glands. Decrease or stop alcohol and caffeine. I'm not going to stop having coffee or having wine at the end of the day, but I do keep it to a small amount. So I am conscious of the amount that I'm taking in. But yeah, something I enjoy, so I'm not going to cut it out completely. If you smoke, definitely stop. There's just nothing good about that. It looks bad. It smells bad. It's going to cause cancer. It's going to cause your hormones to be out of whack. And ranting a little bit here, because just a little while ago, an A&W moved in close to my studio. And since that A&W has moved in, there's been a lot of people who hang out outside of A&W smoking cigarettes, which is too close to my studio, and the cigarette smoke is coming into my studio, and it's disgusting. It makes me nauseous. It makes my throat burn. It makes my eyes burn. I used to be a smoker. I quit. If you're smoking, you gotta give it up. It's terrible. So decrease your exposure to xenoestrogens. So watching, maybe storing your food in glass containers rather than plastic. Look at there's a lot of plastic bottles now that are safe to use, so they usually have a little note on them. So that's one thing you want to look at for sure. Try to eat grass-fed meat and free-range poultry whenever possible, because they've been brought up on a proper healthy diet. And what you put into your body, if what you're putting in your body is unhealthy, so if it's, you know, meat that's been brought up in an unnatural way and has been fed hormones and antibiotics, those things are going to go into your body. So keeping that in mind. So, you know, eat as close to natural as possible. Find a source for grass-fed meat and free-range poultry. It really makes a big difference. When you're eating dairy, opt for raw cheeses and yogurts that were made by animals that were grass-fed. Dramatically reduce or eliminate sugar and processed carbohydrates. So do your best to eliminate sugar and processed carbohydrates. I don't know if you guys saw my post earlier today, but I was watching TV this morning, I was watching the news, and this commercial came on, and it was one of the Special K new products. And the whole message was eat real food, and it's so healthy, so good for you. And you know, people are watching this, they're like, oh yeah, that's really healthy. I'm going to buy that. I'm going to give that to my kids. It's awesome, super handy. So I thought I'm going to check the ingredient list. I was just curious. So I checked the ingredient list. I took a screenshot. The ingredient list was too long to fit in the screenshot. That is a bad thing. You shouldn't be having ingredient lists that are like too long to fit in your screenshot. The second ingredient, sugar. And then there was, let's see, there was corn syrup, there was dextrose, there was all sorts of other sources of sugar. And I was just like, and they just told everybody that this is super healthy and this is real food. And it's not. It got me so angry, because that's what marketing does. They put out these things, they make you believe a certain thing so that you buy their product, and it's just, you know, it confuses people, it makes people unhealthy, and it's just a really sad state. So I'm going to let that go now because I'm getting fired up again. And exercise regularly. So of course, you know, I'm going to be a fan of that one. I exercise regularly. I never used to. I do now. You need to do it. It'll really help with your hormones. But don't overdo your exercise, because that can throw your hormones right out of whack as well. So you need that healthy balance. So that's it. I mean, that's a lot of things. So, you know, don't be like, oh, I'm not going to change all those things. Just pick like one or two things that you feel comfortable with changing. Make that change. It's going to have a positive effect. And then when you're comfortable with that change, look at another thing that you're ready to change and make that happen. So, you know, it's going to be a process. It's worth it, because we want to be healthy. We want to feel good. Yeah, you don't want to be in a state where you're experiencing estrogen dominance and, you know, putting your health at risk. So I've got to run and get ready for the next class. If you have any questions or comments, please always feel free to leave them below, or you can message me anytime. Don't feel like you're bugging me if you want to message me. I love it when people message me. I love chatting with you guys. It's great. And yeah, I'm going to take off. Hey, Anne. Hi, Isabella. Hi, Andre. Hey, Stephane. Good to see you guys here. All right, so I'll talk to you again tomorrow. Have a good day.